So good morning, trader. It is Friday, April 16th. Let's take a look at what's going on in the S&P here. So yesterday was a pretty interesting day. As you can see that we opened up right at the overnight high, basically took it out very quickly early on, and then basically we just chopped around pretty violently, I would say, for the remainder of the day. So you can see how tight the range was in total. All in all, we only moved, what was that? 39 or 40, yeah, like under 30 points, which is very little for the S&P. And then in the overnight session, you can see that we pulled back to pretty much the low volume node area and chopped around quite a bit in the overnight session, and then found support and started to grind upwards again. So as it stands, it looks like we are likely going to be gapping up this morning, but granted, it will be a very small gap.
We have a new week buy.
A lot of times, little gaps like this like to fill and then continue in the original direction. So because we're gapping up, my primary bias is long today. I'll probably be looking, like I said, for a gap fill, a bounce, and then continuation higher. Yeah, that's my bias. One thing I wanted to point out, though, you can see how strong Delta has been against price movement. So despite grinding up yesterday, Delta was net short basically on the day. And then the prior day, you can see how aggressive the shorts were. So basically what that's telling me is that a lot of longs are getting trapped. Yeah, anyways, well, so I posted a video on TikTok yesterday talking about how overbought the market has been and how I felt like we were way overdue for a correction. I actually looked, and we had 16 consecutive days in the S&P where we never closed below the prior day's low. So if you look at the S&P daily chart right now, this is a monthly VWAP. These bands. So this band right up here is 2 standard deviations of VWAP. So here's the monthly VWAP. Here's 1 standard deviation, 2 and 3. And statistically, like we should only be, if we get beyond the 2 standard deviation mark, there should only be like 2.5% probability of getting continuation beyond that. And you can see that we've really been just super close to the 2 standard deviation mark this entire time. And if I change this to the monthly VWAP, or excuse me, if I change it to the weekly VWAP, bear with me for just a moment here. So basically, what you can use VWAP and these standard deviation bands for is it's like looking at a bell curve. So if you're familiar with what a bell curve looks like, basically you'll know that like 68% of the volume or the sample will fall within 1 standard deviation. And then what is it? Around 30. Forget what it is. And then in total, 95% of the volume should fall within 2 standard deviations, and then only 5% beyond that. And so if we look on the weekly VWAP, you can see we're beyond 2 standard deviations. So it's statistically what's happening right now is just very rare. And like I said, I feel like this kind of momentum is not sustainable, and I am looking for a pullback at some point, but you have to stay long until the market tells you otherwise, basically. So anyways, let's take a look and see what's going on in equities here. I know Morgan Stanley reported this morning, and I think they missed. Bear with me for just one moment. Just getting my trading view up and running here. All right. Okay, you guys should be able to see that. So, as always, if you guys have anything you want me to take a look at, please feel free to throw it in the chat. Take a look and see what's going on with Bitcoin here. And let's go to a 15-minute here. All right. So Bitcoin did pull back quite a bit. Looks like we retested the 60,000 level. Fairly significant pullback here. But as soon as we found 60K, you can see that an aggressive buyer did come in to defend that level. So I would say that's a really healthy retest, and it seems like we're starting to V-bottom just a little bit. So all in all, wouldn't necessarily be a bad entry point right here. You can see the 100% retracement. And as long as this continues to grind up and then pulls back and bounces, I would say that'd be a great entry point, looking for continuation to the long side. If we switch this to an hourly chart, you can see that pullback did have a fair amount of momentum, and we failed right around 65K. So you can see how almost like robotic this has been moving. As soon as we get to these, round numbers, basically, that seems to be where we're turning back. One thing I did want to point out, we have a weak high up here at 65K. So that's an unfinished auction, and that tells us that in all likelihood we'll come back and retest this level with a, and break through it. Okay, so that's Bitcoin. Just take a look and see if we can find some other decent setups here. This is Palantir, and this would actually be a pretty decent short setup. So you can see this absolute textbook V-top right here. So that basically tells us that the longs came in with strength and tried breaking out, tried engaging on that momentum, and then they immediately got trapped. So when that happens, it weakens the market, because all of these longs that got long in here, they are unlikely to buy again, because most of them probably got stopped out right there. So therefore, you have the potential for a very nice breakdown right here. And shorting, we've got an unfilled gap over here on the left. So that'd be a pretty decent initial target, for profit taking. And I'd be looking for us to come back down to $21 and then potentially further. So that would be a pretty decent short setup, I would say, on Palantir. Okay, man, Naked Brands has really been tanking. I'm gonna switch to a daily chart, and you can see just, it spiked up here back in late January, and it's been, one time framing to the downside since. As far as where this thing might bounce at, it looks like around 33 cents possibly is like the next support level. But yeah, this thing has just been, falling consistently since January. Okay, let's see what else we got here. This is Alibaba, but the price action is really finicky. Like, there's not a whole lot you can really. I don't really trust these setups all that much. Let's switch to an hourly. Yeah, let's I'm gonna veer away from this. It doesn't look very good. Okay, so this is Neo, and it's starting to look a little bit weak here. This is a pretty weak low, I would say. You've got this low and then this low, and they match perfectly. So you've got the potential for a pretty decent short right there, buying puts or something of the like. So on Neo here, I would be looking for a short, for us to break down, retest the $32 level where this previous pivot was, and then potentially break through there. So this is actually a fairly decent setup because you have all these longs, people that bought in that area that are going to get trapped, if we can get a breakdown there. And yeah, that could be a pretty high momentum move. All right. I'm going to go through some of the large caps really fast just so we can kind of see what they're doing in pre-market here. And it looks like Apple's up 13 cents in pre-market. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? Well, I guess that's fine. So Apple, I don't know why my data is not coming through on my little ticker bar I have at the top here. It's supposed to. Okay, so looks like Amazon is gapping up slightly. And let's go Microsoft. And Microsoft is gapping up by just a hair. So yeah, the three major market cap guys are either neutral or bullish on the open here. And it looks like Tesla is gapping down by just like 30 cents or something. So that's not enough to really create any significant waves. Okay. So yeah, just to reiterate, like I said, with the S&P looking the way it is, with us gapping up on the open here, I am bullish on the day. But the only thing that concerns me, and it's been concerning, has just been the volume. Oops, sorry about that. You can see the day that we sold off a little bit, volume was actually pretty decent, but all the other days volume has been super low. It was a little bit better yesterday, but then again, the range yesterday was only like 37 points, so that's a little bit disconcerting. We're just, clearly things are slowing down here, and I feel like the market needs to pull back and take out some of the weaker hands and give stronger hands a chance to come back in and rebuy at lower prices. So all right, well, we got 8 minutes till the open, guys. Unless anybody else has any questions, then I'm probably gonna wrap it up here. Okay. Well, good luck today, guys. Like I said, my bias is long today. More than my primary scenario that I'm looking at is for us to open, come back, fill the gap, and then get a bounce at yesterday's high with continuation to the upside. And as far as targets goes, it's hard to say, just because we have no like inflection points or anything above us. But based on yesterday's range being like 27 points or 30 points or something like that, I don't feel like we have the momentum to get a super big range day. So I'm expecting probably 50 points or less, and so that would put us right at about, let's see, so yesterday's high was 41.66. So yeah, somewhere around 4200. That's probably my target for the day. Awesome. Well, thanks again, guys. I appreciate you as always. I hope you have a really excellent weekend, and look for me Sunday night. I'll get on live here for the weekend wrap. We'll go over the news, the economic calendar, and what we've got going on for earnings next week. So again, that's Sunday, 8:30 Pacific time. And you can always watch it on YouTube as well for the recap. So awesome. All right, guys. Thanks again. Good luck today, and we'll see you on